Hello, today we're going to learn how to import planar tracking data from Fusion into Nuke so that we can achieve a result like this. So here we have a box footage with some text added in comp. So let's see how we can do this. So here we are inside of Nuke, and I will first of all delete the current setup and go through it from the beginning. So what we have here is the box shot with nothing on the box, and we want to put this text onto the box. And we have a planar tracker node in Nuke. If you type tab and planar tracker, then you get this rotor with the built-in planar tracker, but this is quite slow and not very good to use. So instead I did the tracking in Fusion and then exported the tracking data from Fusion as a text file with matrices, where each line contains one matrix that describes the transformation from frame to frame. Okay, so what we need to do now is to import this data and apply it inside Nuke. So the first hurdle here is that Fusion is using normalized coordinates. So if you look at this image here, it goes from 00 to 1920 by 1080. But when Fusion does its calculations, it uses 00 to 11. So the first thing we have to do is to normalize the coordinates. So press T to get the transform node, and then double click and go to scale and press 2 to get the width and height, and then type an equal sign in the width field. So here we can add an expression. If you type root width, then you can see it returns 1920, which is the width of this comp. But we want the inverse, so I'm going to type 1 divided by root width. And for the height, I will do the same. So root height, but invert. And now if we look at this result, then it shrunk it down to a pixel in the center. But this should be down here in the left bottom corner. So I will change the center to 0, 0. So now the full image is down here in the corner. And we need to do the opposite to make it big again. So copy this transform node and connect it and press the invert. So now if we look at this result, then it will expand it back again, so it is back to its normal size. And now let's try to add this on top of the box. So type M for a merge node, and B to the box, and A to the last transform. And if we watch this, then we have one starting point. And let's also add a grid in the background to make it easier to see. Okay, I think something, well, okay. I will zoom it up to make it a bit bigger so we can see all the grid lines. Okay, so next we want to fit this onto this side of the box. So I will add a corner pin. So type tab corner pin and place this between the two transforms. And here we go to the from node and type 00101101. And this is because we are in normalized coordinates. And we have to go to the to and copy from. And now we can fit these corners onto the box, like so. So one more corner. Okay, so there we have this fitting on one frame, but if we run this, it's not going to follow. Actually, I was on the wrong frame, so let's go to the first frame and quickly move this into place. Okay, so now we have it in the right place on frame 0, and we have to make sure it follows during the rest of the animation. And for this we need to import the Fusion tracking data. So here we will add another CornerPin. So type tab and CornerPin again and put this after the first CornerPin. And here disable the actual CornerPin feature, so uncheck all these boxes. And then you can open this extra matrix, and this is where we will import the matrix from Fusion. So let me just show first what a matrix is. So here we have an illustration of a matrix, and you can see that these are numbers from 1 unto 16. And Nuke would use the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. But when we import from Fusion, we need to change the order, so we first take the one element and then we go instead downwards. So next one is 5, and then next one is 9, and so on. So back into Nuke, and let's add this into the CornerPin nodes. So here I will press this animation button on the extra matrix and select File, Import ASCII. And here it says column for 0, and it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for Fusion we need to swap this, so it's 1, 5, 9, 13. So 1, 5, 9, 13, and then from the top here 2, 6, 10, 14, and then 3, 7, 11, 15, and then 4, 8, 12, and 16, and double check again. So 1, 5, 9, 13, 2, 6, 10, 14, 3, 7, 11, 15, and 4, 8, 12, 16. And it is really important to get this correctly. So then press, we also need to import the files we have, so Planar text. And now press OK. So now it imported all these matrices into Nuke, into this CornerPin node. And if you look at this result and go to another frame, you can see it's kind of doing the opposite. And this is because we also need to invert this matrix. And now if we remove the grid and play this result, you can see that it is following the box. It's easier to see with the grid on. So here we have the actual tracking, and let's do a quick comp as well. So here I will remove the grid, and instead of the merge I will do a grade. So press G and then connect a grade node, and then connect the mask to our last transform. And if you look at this, then we can now, for example, change the gamma to get the result we want. And now if we play and look at the result, then we have the tracking that we saw at the beginning of this lesson. So this is quite a lot, I think, to digest. So you may have to watch this video a couple of times. I hope this was helpful and see you next time. Over and out.